Your challenge in November, Taurus. For a lot of you, I feel like it has to do with moving forward, a shift or a change that you're trying to make. So this can be a move, a job change, um, a business that you're trying to get going. But this is something that you felt very strongly pulled to do. So you feel like you are, intuitively being drawn towards this shift or change. And I feel like for most of you that this has to do with work and career. So for some of you, it could be, leaving a relationship, moving on from that. But I feel like for most of you, this has to do with job and how you're making your living. Because some of you may be in November waiting to get a message from, maybe you interviewed. I do feel like a lot of you will be interviewing in November, and maybe there's just a lot of competition for this. But I do see a lot of communication going back and forth. It may be a long interview process, but I feel like Taurus, even though it may be a long process if you're interviewing for a particular job, you're going to feel very good about it because, again, you have a lot of protection around you. So I think November is going to be a lot easier for you than October. I do think most of you, experience the eclipse energy in October, which, while I'm filming this, we're still in the midst of that. So it's a lot heavier energy. But I think November for most of you is going to feel a lot lighter. So your challenge is to just kind of wait. But those of you who do interview in November, you may be very nervous about it. But it's going to go well. It's going to go well. Maybe some of you are a little concerned with the distance that a new job may be from your home. You may be thinking about that. But what they're saying is don't worry about it. You may decide to move later, but it seems like that won't be, for a lot of you necessary right away. Maybe some of you are purposely interviewing in a distant location because you want to kind of shake things up and totally change your environment. So whatever you're feeling led to do in November, Taurus, follow that. It's going to feel good. It's going to feel right. The interview is going to go great. This could be something very prestigious. For a lot of you, this could have to do with publishing. This could have to do with communications in some way. With all of these communication, I've got two communication runes and the Eight of Wands, which is all about messages going back and forth, communication, news coming to you. And again, you're protected. So your challenge is really to just follow your instincts, Taurus. You may be questioning that. Or you may just be excited and waiting for responses. Even though they're going to come, it may seem like, even though it's a week, it may seem like forever. But they are going to come and they're going to be in your favor. So yeah, again, for those of you who are moving, it could be, just a message that, hey, you got the house. It's yours. We're closing this date. Or maybe some of you closed in October and you're now finally moving in November. So there may be one member of the family. I've got a Knight of Cups coming up in reverse. Does not have to be a male, but it normally is when it presents as a knight. But it'll be a female for some of you. This is normally a water sign energy. This is, this is a Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio. This could be your child. This could be a younger person that you have to work with, but it would be a very young person generally as a knight. So this would be probably an intern. This could be somebody who's just whiny. Somebody that maybe they don't want to move, So there could be, if you are moving, one of your children is just not about it. And they're like, oh God, I'm going to leave my friends. I have to change schools. Or I don't like my room. I think they're just being moody. I don't think it's going to stay that way. I think that this child will adjust, or this younger person will adjust. This could be somebody you work with, though, too. Maybe you just started a new job and you're going to have to deal with this intern who's just like, oh, you're going to hate it here. It's awful. Don't listen to that. If that's the case, don't listen to this person because I don't see that at all for you. Some of you may be taking a test in November. So those of you who do have finals or exams in college or a big test that you're worried about for a certification, you're going to do great. I feel like if you have questions about anything, definitely contact a professor or contact somebody with your question, because I feel like they'll get back to you and you're going to be better off for having that answer. Let's not knock that down. Than you would be without it. So definitely ask questions if there's anything you're concerned about in November regarding a test or a certification or qualifications for a job. Definitely ask on this interview any questions that you have. You may want to jot those down before you go. Help that's going to be available to you. You're going to have a really positive attitude, Taurus, even though you guys have had a rough few months, if I'm recalling your past readings correctly. If you can keep a positive attitude, and I know it sounds cliche, everybody says that, but I really think that you are going to be feeling positive though. So I don't think it's going to be difficult for you to do this. There is a victory coming to you, and let's face it, it's been a long time in coming. So there is a win for you in November. And it comes after a period of, things that were hidden from you being revealed, things that were necessary for you to remove yourself from. You may have turned a corner with that. If it was a relationship, whatever was, whatever secrets or difficulties came through, you are going to get past this. Now, some of you, I have to say this, if you are moving into a new home, some of you may find there's some spirit activity if you're moving into an older home. And the spirits are everywhere. They're not just in older homes, but particularly if you are buying an older home. You may want to do a cleansing. And honestly, if you need details on how to do that, just Google it. But really, it's just a matter of walking around your house with some sage and, cleansing it, blessing it. Sage and maybe somebody behind you with a white candle. And walk in a counterclockwise motion all around your house, just along each wall. And that will cleanse your home. But you can get more. There are a lot of different ways you can do that. That's just the way that I do it. But yeah, you can find instructions on that in any home blessing, any spell book that contains a home blessing, or just search home blessing on the internet. And there will be a lot of different ones that work that come up for you. And I don't feel like this is anything negative, but it just may be something that you get in the house and you're like, it's a little frightening at first because you may hear noises. But I don't feel like this is a negative entity or anything like that. For some of you, if you're running away from something that is, it hasn't been dealt with, like, you're not going to be able to move far away enough. If this is somebody you're still in a relationship with, or if it's an issue that you yourself have been dealing with, whether it's an addiction issue, maybe a mental health issue that needs treatment, maybe you're just depressed or have been depressed, that's an illness. You're not going to be able to overcome that yourself. You do need to seek help for that. So, if you are moving to try to get away from this or thinking that changing your location will change, your mental state or, help you kick this addiction, the thing is, it will just follow you where you're going. Okay? You do need help with this, some of you, if that's the way this is working out. If it's not a haunted house or, if it's not a secret coming out, something that you've been trying to hide, then it could be the spirit thing. But for those of you who are interested in spirituality, just be careful with any occult things that you're dealing with. Ouija boards, spirit boards, things like that. Make sure that you're doing the proper blessing. I honestly do not recommend anyone ever use a Ouija board. I really don't. There's no way to protect yourself from negative entities that come in and that can stick around your house. So I don't ever recommend playing with those unless you want a yucky spirit hanging around that you then have to cleanse and get rid of. So yeah, just watch out for those things. Make sure that you know what you're dealing with whenever you're dealing with any occult things. What can't be changed, though, about November is actually a good thing. I mean, it seems like there's a new beginning where there has been some conflict, particularly within a family relationship. For some of you, this may be with your mother. This may be with a child. I have a Page of Rods coming up in the upright position. So this is normally a fire sign child, Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo. If there's been conflict, maybe, you would be very different from a fire sign child. You would see the world very differently. So it could be that maybe that has been a conflicted relationship. But it looks like whatever this shift or change is, that's going to help with whatever the situation is. In some cases, this Knight of Cups reversed and the Page of Rods could be the same child. I don't know if they have a fire or water sign rising or how that's working out with the chart, but it could, in some cases, be the same child. And, whatever the moodiness is or the upset is with a younger person about a shift or change that you are affecting, Taurus, just know that the conflict is not going to last. It is going to get better, I think, even before the end of November. So whatever the difficulty or whatever their initial dislike of whatever this is, I think that's, and for a lot of you, I think that's going to be a move. But I think it's going to change. Now, for some of you, this may be a child you have going off to college. And, you may be concerned about them. Or maybe they're not as excited as you thought they would be. Maybe they don't want to go to college. Or maybe they get in college and they're just like, I don't want to study this. So there could be some changes afoot. If you have a child that's moving out of your home or preparing to go to college, it seems odd that they'd be going in November, but, maybe they're just preparing. But for some of you, this may just be an older child moving out of the home for the first time, and you're a little concerned about that. You're telling them to keep in touch with you, call me every day, that kind of thing. But whatever this changes, it's going to end up being beneficial for you and anyone else who's affected by it. Even though, change always, just the fact that things are not staying the same is enough to kind of stress some people out. People don't deal very well with change. Because it seldom works out in the way we expected. But I feel like for you, Taurus, in the month of November, it really is. There's something going according to plan. There's something going very well. And you're being protected by your spirit guides in this. And some of you may be seeking help, therapy for an addiction issue, for, again, depression or a mental health issue. You may be getting therapy for that. Success may not be overnight, but as long as you're honest and open and don't keep anything back and are honest with this person who's trying to help you, because these energies can always work in both ways. It can be you helping someone, a child or a younger person, or somebody dealing with an issue like this, or someone helping you with those same issues. So Taurus, whichever situation that you are in, whichever way these energies are manifesting in your life, just know that there's going to be a solution as long as you are honest and upfront with everyone. And be careful of the occult stuff. So that is what I see for November, Taurus. Look up those cleansing spells if you're moving into a new home. If you hear, and spirits can't hurt you, don't believe the films. If you hear anything wonky at night, you just need to do a cleansing in your home, and that's to take care of it. So that is what I see. Good luck with that, Taurus, and I'll see you back here in December.